everybody. Welcome back to the Rochester Local Podcast. My name is Becky. I own a website called Rochester Local, and this is the eponymous Rochester Local Podcast. And I am joined by a special guest today, as I always am. I always say I'm joined by a special guest, but it's true. It's very true each and every time. But this is Mike Wiens. And before we get into a little bit about Mike Wiens, I need to say a thank you to our sponsor, First Alliance Credit Union, for sponsoring our podcast. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Becky.
How are you?
I'm great.
I'm so glad to have you here.
I am excited to be here.
How long have we known each other?
We have known each other for 39 years.
39 years. That's a long time to know someone.
It is a very long time.
How do we know each other?
You are my sister.
Oh, well, what do you know? I am thrilled because this is the first time a family member has been on my podcast. Welcome. I'm excited that you're here.
I'm excited that I'm here. That's only half true because AJ was on your podcast.
Oh, but I'm not related to him.
By
Wait,
marriage,
are you related to someone if you're married to them?
I think that counts. I think that's related.
Someone needs to Google that, because are you related to the person that you marry, or is relation only to someone that you share DNA with? I don't know.
I don't know. I think you become related to them when you say the ideas.
Oh, so like hypothetically, philosophically related, but not like...
Not biologically, obviously. That'd be a little weird.
Yes, it would be a little bit weird. Okay, so you're on the podcast because I have not seen you since 2015.
That's right.
And that was the last time we saw each other when you were in Minnesota. Right?
That's right, yes.
So it's been 8.5 years since I last saw you, which we have both agreed is far too long.
Far too long.
However, there were some things that kind of like got in the way. It wasn't just like we were like, oh, whatever. So for example, babies, I had them, right?
Yes.
So that made it a little difficult to travel. Then we had one trip planned and it kind of just fizzled out a little bit for one reason or the other. And then stupid COVID happened, right?
Stupid
COVID happened. And for one reason or the other, it just couldn't happen until now. So, but now you're back. And it's been a delight.
It's been fantastic. It's been a whirlwind of activities and things to see, food to eat. And it's been great.
It has been great. So Mike, you're one of my most loyal Rochester Local listeners across the world. I think you know the episodes better than I do. What are some good memories that you have of growing up in Rochester?
Oh, there are so many. So many. I mean, it's not even necessarily Rochester itself, but the whole kind of southeastern Minnesota region.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff. The county fair was always a highlight every single year.
Oh, the county fair. Man, it was so good back in the day. It was just
fantastic.
Like everybody went.
Yep.
You were never not there.
Yep.
Every single night, right?
Yeah, the whole week.
And we were lucky enough to be able to work at the fair.
That was fun.
Right?
Yes.
Drive the golf cart around and like...
Maybe not. Yeah.
Work. Right? So, I mean, the county fair and seeing all of our friends' animals and these sorts of things, that was good. Right. What else?
Cheese Fest in Pine Island. Great time there.
I wonder, do you know how many years that's been going on?
If it's still going on, it's been a long time.
It has been. I think it's have to have at least been 30 years for sure. Probably a lot longer. But Pine Island Cheese Fest. What else?
Apple picking in Mazeppa. Very fond memories of that.
Mazeppa.
Not even necessarily of the apple picking act itself, but because the little shack they had there had the fresh donuts being made.
The fresh donuts. Apple Ridge Orchard, right?
And then the hot cider.
Oh, the hot cider.
Good memories.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, I think that they're selling their orchard or they're retiring or selling. Wow. Yeah, I know. Good memories. Hopefully somebody will come along.
Hopefully.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Great place.
But like growing up in Orinoco, and shout out to any Orinoco kids that might be watching or listening, but we would ride our bike down to the Orinoco Bridge, the main one going right into town.
Yeah, just before we get into town there was like an extremely old dam, very unsafe. Barely functional.
Yeah.
And we'd go down there and hang out and throw rocks into the water and
go up underneath the bridge there and never deface property. Never deface property.
Not at all.
and just like be small town kids, right? Just rabble rousing, riding your bike down to JC's.
That's right. Yeah. Mom would give me during the summer because, they worked from home as their business. We didn't go into town every day.
No.
We just hung around Orinoco.
Yep. I used to ride my bike to JC's,
Yep.
where we also rented our VCR and our video VHS tapes.
That was a real treat when we got to go to
Shout out
JC's.
to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, right?
Yeah, there was that one.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons, classic.
Short Circuit.
Short Circuit. Oh, all the classics.
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five. Hey, Mama was a snowblower. Anyway.
I would also ride my bike down to the Golden Nugget Cafe.
Yeah.
Which is right across from the street from the post office.
That building's empty now. Just nothing there.
I know. I think there's something in there. But they used to sell stick Jolly Ranchers. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The sticks, not the little nubbins, but like the big stick Jolly Ranchers.
The long logs.
Yes. And they sold them for a dime. One dime. And I saved my pennies and I went down there and I bought an entire box of them for like $3. It was like 30 of them, $3. And then I resold them on the bus.
Tidy profits.
Right?
Entrepreneur in training.
I think I sold them for like $1 out of my locker at school at the back of the bus.
When you're in school, you were just desperate for anything that wasn't the school cafeteria food.
Right?
Not that it was bad.
Sure.
You just want
I'll
something else.
buy a Jolly Rancher for $1.
Heck yeah, I would too.
Man, that's inflation.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Growing up in Rochester, we had access to some amazing local commercials.
Oh, the best.
Local jingles that are forever stored in my brain space. And I want to see if you can finish the lines.
Okay. I don't want to embarrass myself here.
Tom, Cadillac, Pontiac, Honda, first on 52, and number 1 for you. You failed that one.
I don't remember that one at all.
Are you serious?
I don't remember that one at all. Like, was that before I gained proper consciousness?
Maybe. When we were only 4 years apart, so I don't think it's that long. I can't believe you can't remember the Tom Cadillac Pontiac Honda one.
I hope I don't ruin this bit by only
No, you're gonna know.
one jingle.
Next one. If you wanna look good,
Rochester
Lapidary Jewelers. Right.
Yep.
If you wanna look
I
good,
sing that to this day. I'll be doing dishes
style and value
in New Zealand. Rochester Lapidary. My fiance has no idea what I'm saying. He thinks I'm absolutely going crazy.
Oh, that's the best one. But the best one is actually one that you will absolutely know. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
There's a proper place for your waist in Olmsted County.
I am ruining this bit. I don't remember that one. And even AJ knew that one.
You don't know there's a proper place for your waist?
There's a place for fun in your life.
That's Mall of America.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember the bit about throwing your rubbish away. Sorry, trash.
Rubbish, trash.
Rubbish.
There's a proper place for your waist in Olmsted County.
Doesn't even ring a single bell. Not the teeniest, tiniest bell in my memory. I know nothing about that one.
People who don't even live here or have grown up here know that one. It is iconic. You know where your waist goes in Olmsted County.
I'm sorry, everyone. I failed as a Rochesterite.
Well, here's the deal. You knew you knew Lapidary Jewelers,
I knew that one.
So we'll give that to you.
Okay.
All right, next question is, what institution from the 1980s on Highway 52 at the 19th Street exit did you love?
Shakey's Pizza.
Shakey's
Pizza. The absolute
Rest in
best
peace.
place in Rochester if you were a kid, late 80s to about
Early 90s.
Mid 90s-ish, I guess.
It was around for a lot longer.
I'm not sure when the downfall started.
Well, it was when they redid that whole intersection for the highway project. But Shakey's Pizza, I don't know. Sometimes I try to remember what the building was, and all I can think of is like an old, it felt like it was multiple stories. Yeah. I don't know.
It was an old brick building. I feel like there was an addition on at some point.
Yeah. And then it was a pizza buffet. Oh, so good.
Remember those? You don't get those
a pizza
that often
buffet,
anymore.
And they had those red cups
Yep.
that were kind of
The
like...
Pizza Hut across the highway also had the red cups.
Yes, those red cups that stacked and made like a great noise as you like stacked them or put them on the table. Like
Satisfying
kind
plastic,
of nubby,
chunky noise.
And I think I had 3 birthday parties there. Shakey's.
Oh, at least.
Right?
At least.
And then there was an arcade.
That was the best part. The pizza was good. Like the pizza was actually pretty decent quality, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my kid brain thinking it was good.
I liked it.
But they had an arcade, and that was my favorite place to go.
What do you still remember a game that they had in the arcade?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Oh, that's right.
And this was the height of Ninja Turtle craze.
You were
Obsessed.
a Ninja Turtle kid.
Yeah.
You were a Ninja Turtle kid, and you loved Michelangelo because they called him Mikey.
That's right. And I'm Mikey.
You're Mikey.
You know, because Michael.
Oh my gosh.
Get it?
The best part was that you loved video games
Yep.
so much, and you got so excited, and you'd stand on your little tippy toes.
I would.
And
Because I was only 5. And,
trying to play
I don't know what just hitting the thing. I'm winning, but I'd be losing. I would just be playing the demo. I wouldn't.
I know,
be
you wouldn't even be playing like the actual game. Good memories.
Fun
Right next to
times.
Mr. Donut, which was also on that frontage road.
That's right.
And across the highway on the west side of the highway was Smiling Moose.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Do you remember the Smiling Moose?
Yes, I do.
But if anybody is listening to this podcast and can confirm this thought that I've had before it was the Smiling Moose, I am almost positive that it was called something like Raspberry Browns or Raspberry Johns or something like this. And they did sarsaparilla. If anyone can confirm this, please let me know, because I have tried to Google it. Like, what was the building before it was the Smiling Moose? And I swear it was something like Raspberry Browns.
Before me.
Yeah, I mean, like there are some ancient, there was another restaurant on the frontage road on 2nd Street. It's not there anymore. It's just south of like that construction collaborative building on the corner.
Yeah.
Nick's Ribs.
Nick's Ribs. I do remember Nick's Ribs.
Do you remember Nick's Ribs?
Yeah.
Nick's Ribs. That was a good one. That was a good one. Far back Rochester memory.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
All right.
Actually, you already referenced her about 30 seconds ago. You have a fiance.
I do.
And her name is?
Charlie.
Charlie. And we love Charlie. And you've been together for how long?
12 years.
12 years. And you've been engaged since?
2021.
2021. And where do you live with Charlie?
I live in a small town called Waiuku.
Which
is about an hour south of Auckland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't always live in Waiuku?
No. We lived at our family home in the suburb of Devonport. Which is a very nice place in Auckland. A little bit secluded. Kind of a little bit, how do I word this nicely?
Touristy.
A little bit touristy. Lots of tourists coming over from the cruise ships. Slightly on the higher end of the income scale.
Yep.
Very nice houses. The early colonists built their houses there so they could watch the ships come in with all their goods.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So the cool thing about your house that was in Devonport, it was the last street before this pretty iconic place in Auckland, right?
Yeah.
It was on the, what's it called?
North Head.
North Head. And what is North Head?
North Head was an old military base, where during World War I they had gun encampments and like little pillboxes to keep an eye out on the bay, because the way it's set up, you have to go around North Head in order to access the actual city of Auckland proper.
Yeah.
And that was the best way to defend against any potential invaders.
Yep. So Auckland kind of sits, it's on the water, but it's also within a bay, right?
Yeah.
And actually it's surrounded by quite a lot of water on a lot of sides. So it kind of just juts out.
Yeah.
But then North Head is kind of on the northern side of the bay. Huge. I mean, we're talking like a massive, it's not just like, a hill, like you can just climb up like a Quarry Hill or something like this, that big trail. It's like a big,
it's like a little mini mountain.
It is a mini mountain. And so it's a place that a lot of, people who are visiting Auckland will go up to
Very
right?
much so. It's
And
one of the places I always recommend that if
yep,
they can make it there, because it's a little out of the way, but you can just hop on a ferry in downtown Auckland, 10
yep,
minutes over, and then the 15-minute walk,
yep.
and you're on North Head, and it's a great place.
And fun fact, I was there in New Zealand. I was in New Zealand for a few weeks in 2004. And so I was in New Zealand even before Mike lived there, and that was one of my favorite memories. And you can see sailboats and things coming and going, and the whole city and the Sky Tower and all this kind of good stuff.
It's a fantastic view of Rangitoto, which is the nearby dormant volcano,
Yep.
hopefully for a longer time.
Yep.
And then East Auckland, and then you can get a nice view of the skyline.
Yep.
It's fantastic at night. One of my first memories of being in New Zealand was there were some fireworks going off, because I think Valerie Adams, who is a New Zealand shot putter, had just won gold medal at the 2012 Olympics.
That's amazing.
And they had some fireworks going off, and I was able to watch them from North Head
Yep.
in the evening time, and it was amazing. It was fantastic.
All right, so Charlie's parents are in import-export on Vanuatu, and mainly in beef and kava. Is this right?
That's right, kava.
Okay, kava. So that's not super familiar to a Western audience.
I didn't know
Talk
about
to
it.
me about kava.
So kava it's a plant that grows in kava, or I guess as Wikipedia calls it, kava.
Kava. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. And it grows in Pacific Island nations. So the Melanesian nations. So you got your Vanuatu, your Fiji, New Caledonia, and Papua New Guinea, and also the Polynesian islands, Cook Islands, Tonga, Samoa.
Yeah.
And it grows there, and it's pretty much only grows there.
Okay.
It can't grow in New Zealand. The climate's not good enough.
The climate's not okay. No. The climate's not good. Okay.
And it's found there, and it's mainly used. It was mainly used as like a spiritual thing, and like a ritual thing. It's like,
in ceremonies.
In ceremonies, you'd have it before meetings between different chiefs and peoples, and it produces sort of like it's when you drink it, which the liquid is made by taking the root.
Yep.
And grinding it up, and then just adding some water to it.
Okay.
And you drink it, and it's a little bit numbing.
Oh, okay.
And it produces a bit of a calming body effect.
Okay.
Now, it's not a high. So it's not a similar high to say like marijuana or anything like that. It's more just like a calming sort of sedative thing. Some people use it. Yeah, some people use it as like a sleep aid.
Oh, sure.
Or like a stress reducer.
All right. So historically, kava was used ceremonially for different rituals or, traditions or these sorts of things. But now it's commercial, used recreationally amongst friends. There's kava bars.
There are. Yeah, there are kava bars in Vanuatu. When we went there for a brief visit, I saw that you would driving along the roads, and there'd be little kava bars with a light outside to indicate, when kava was available or when they were open. And you go there, you have traditionally had in a coconut shell, empty coconut shell. You drink it, and then there's like little seating areas where you can sit and just have like little snacks like peanuts or something. And that's
cool.
That's kind of how it's consumed these days.
So that's really cool. That's a really cool thing about Charlie and her family in Vanuatu, and certainly not something that we're used to having over here in the U.S. But it's getting to be a little bit maybe.
I think they're working on. There's definitely areas in New Zealand where there's definitely areas in the U.S. where you can buy it. I think it's mainly you can buy it online. There might be some pharmacies or supermarkets where it's available. It's not super widely available to my knowledge, but it's not regulated. It's legal in all 50 states. Like anything, that has like an effect on the body, it's obviously good not to have too much of it. Just like an every now and then thing. But yeah.
Cool. I love that. All right. So dialing it back, how'd you even get to New Zealand? What is like, you've lived there now for, it'll be 13 years this fall. 12 years this fall. Really? I thought you went in 2012.
I did do it in 2012. So
you're right.
2024.
12. It'll be 12 years in the fall. So how did you get there?
Well, at the time, I mean, I was living in Duluth and just living my life up there, and decided that I needed to do something a bit more exciting. I had spent most of my time. Needed a change. I had spent most of my life in Minnesota, going from Rochester to the cities and then up to Duluth.
Mhm.
And we're not really working the best job. No aspirations for progression, no
Yeah.
opportunities.
Right.
And a friend of mine by the name of Nick Truxell. Hey, Nick. Sorry to name
Hi,
drop you
Nick.
there.
Yeah.
He had been to New Zealand before.
Mhm.
And we were hanging out one night and just, talking as you do, talking about, what do you want to do with your life? And he suggested, hey, you want to know what? Why don't you try going to New Zealand? They have this fantastic program where you can go and live and work there for a year.
If you're under 30.
If you're under 30, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the important part. And I thought, okay, I'm 27. Why not? Why not? There was nothing holding me back.
Yeah.
And so he helped me come to the decision to actually go.
Mm-hmm.
But it was you. You were the one who actually gave me 5, 6, 7 countless kicks up the rear to actually get the planning started.
It can be really daunting.
It was.
To just say, okay, so I'm going to stop everything normal about my life here and uproot myself to go a place for another year.
Yeah.
And I think that's just older sister, prerogative to kind of come in.
And it's okay. I thank you for it.
Well, you're welcome.
I thank you for it.
Some people might call it bossy. I'm going to call it decisive.
Yeah.
Right? So we had a plan.
Yes.
Right? It was a 12-step plan to get Mike to New Zealand.
It was just a list of things that needed to be done.
I bet you could still find that email somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Yeah.
If I searched Becky, let's get this going from Becky or something. Sorry, I don't type like this. And
Michael.
it was just a list of things that needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And like anything, once you break it down into list form, it turns out this is pretty doable.
Right. It was just things like sublease your apartment.
Yep.
Renew your passport.
Yep.
Apply for a visa.
Yeah.
Move back home. Save some money.
Yeah.
Sell your car.
And these things were, individually on their own. They had obviously a bunch of other little steps that that you had to do. But
yep.
And because of this, I to this day love crossing things off a list. I keep a calendar. I keep a list of things I need to do daily, and it's things like empty the dehumidifier.
Yeah.
Change the cat litter. And it's so satisfying to just tap that little box and it checks it off, strikes it out. And I think it all stems back to being able to cross those big things off a list to prepare for my trip to New Zealand.
Oh, your trip to New Zealand. So you arrive in New Zealand, you after a layover in Fiji.
Layover in LA and Fiji.
Yep.
3-step plan.
And in your haste and excitement and jitters to get off the plane, what happened?
I left my headphones on the plane. I just bought a really nice pair of headphones, spent a lot of money on them because I wanted to make sure I had some proper listening devices and left them. I had nothing.
So you stayed the first night on Frank's couch.
Frank, what was his name?
Frank.
Otto. His name was Otto.
Otto.
Yeah.
So you stayed one night couch surfing on Otto's couch, and the next day you went to...
I was doing, I had some errands to do. I needed to set up a bank account. I needed to get the New Zealand equivalent of a social security number so I could find work.
Yeah.
And there was a electronics store right nearby, both of those things. I was like, perfect.
Yep.
I need more headphones.
Yep.
Walked in, find a guy, find the headphone section, ask one of the clerks, the staff working there for some help, deciding which one's the best. He sort of, he kind of knew. He's okay. I mean, maybe this one. And this other staff member, this girl, comes walking up and says, no. You would want this one. This one's got the better frequency.
Frequency.
Frequency. No, she doesn't sound like that.
Best New Zealand accent. I don't know how to do it.
It's hard to do the New Zealand accent. I can't do it.
So anyways, you met Charlie.
I met Charlie. That's how I met her.
And
she sold me some headphones.
The rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. 1 year turned into 2 years, 2 years turned into 3, and 3 years is now 12.
12. Since crazy. You've been engaged since 2002. You've been together since 2012.
2021, Becky. 2002.
Oh. So going back.
All right.
So you've been together since 2012.
That's right.
And engaged since 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that it just started on literally your second day in New Zealand.
Second day. It was at the very beginning. It was all very platonic. You know,
Yeah.
She noticed my accent. It was. She noticed my accent, and she was just being helpful to a traveler because she had just done some traveling herself.
Yeah.
And she showed me around Devonport, where we ended up living for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
And after I left to go on my North Island trip around to kind of see the sights, we stayed in touch.
Yeah.
And she eventually said, I got a friend who can get you some work.
Yeah.
Came back to Auckland, and
there you go.
that's that.
That's that. And so now you're a permanent resident.
I am. Yes, I am. After so many years, I was eligible for it, put the application through, and yeah, now I can live and work in New Zealand
and you
permanently.
still carry your U.S. passport,
Yes,
obviously.
I'm still a U.S. citizen.
Yep, but a permanent resident of New Zealand.
Yep.
Which is going to benefit me because my family is coming to see you.
It's so exciting. Can't wait for you guys to come.
Oh my gosh. So it's been a long journey to get there, but we're coming in August to see you. And
Middle of winter.
Middle of winter in the Southern Hemisphere. This is fine.
Bring the raincoat.
But we are going to do camper van life.
Yes.
Right?
That's the thing that's a lot of the travelers in New Zealand do. They rent a camper van, just drive around.
The whole country is really set up to be camper van friendly.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get our camper van, and we're even gonna stay in a camper van in your city for a while,
Yep.
Waiuku, and then see the rest of the country as much as we can. Right? I think it'll be like three plus weeks that we'll be there. So
you should be able to see quite a lot.
Good thing I have some locals that can really help me
plan just one.
Right?
Just
a couple.
Maybe a couple. Maybe another friend who lives there, maybe.
All right. So what's the biggest difference between Rochester and New Zealand? Besides, obviously, the easy ones, driving on the other side, right?
Biggest difference, and like the lifestyle's different. Like Kiwis are relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, the life moves just a little bit slower. People still do like a lot of hard work. There's still, like jobs like, similar to here, but the lifestyle, just a little bit more laid back.
Laid back?
A little bit more laid back.
So even when you come here and we're just like, okay, da 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 da, it's just not.
I think that's just you who's da 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 da.
That's true. It's probably I like a plan.
I'm sure there are plenty of Rochester, Minnesota people that are quite laid back as well.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
A lot of just the Kiwi lifestyle, laid back, lots of lazy afternoons.
Chilling.
Just chilling. That's probably one of the major differences.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that hard to get used to. I was like, okay, wow.
Right?
Just sitting around and relaxing. Oh man, this is terrible.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I know. Sounds nice. I've read that too about New Zealand. Is it's just chill, and people just tend to have a more relaxed demeanor and a relaxed approach to life.
Yeah. Which
I can see why it would be so appealing.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
So I have one question for you related to living abroad for so long. What's something that you miss the most about Rochester?
The snow.
The snow?
It's silly, but I do miss the snow. Like there is snow in New Zealand, but it's much further south. In like the South Island, where I don't live, and I've only been a couple times. And the snow there is like wet, heavy, clumpy, sort of like how it is lately.
Yeah, so you just miss like the permanent sort of blanket of snow in the winter?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, obviously, once you get to January, February, you're over the snow. And you want it to be springtime.
Absolutely.
But because it's summertime during Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere, and I grew up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Christmases just don't feel like Christmas anymore.
Christmas is like very tropical.
It's like you go to the beach and have a barbecue.
Oh, that's so funny.
And like there have been Christmas days where it has been hotter than sin.
Oh my gosh.
It's like you're humid and just like clothes are sticking to you and it's heavy and you're like trying to go and have like a Christmas dinner, like a Christmas roast dinner.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah, it's hard. It would be hard for me to like equate Christmas with anything other than like jingle bells
Yeah.
and snow and sledding and all these sorts of things. Yeah, I can imagine. So, well, good thing that it's snowing in April here now for you.
I know. I was very excited when you picked me up from the airport. And I
Ugh.
pointed at a pile of dirty snow on the side of the road. And they got, I haven't seen it in so long.
There's your snow.
I know, exactly. I was happy.
All right. So, what's one thing from New Zealand that you think that should just be here? Like, forget it. Just bring this here already. What's one thing about your life and or how people live their lives, or even an amenity that is in New Zealand that should be in Rochester?
The big obvious one for me is public health care. You don't need health insurance in New Zealand. There's the public system. You still need to enroll in a clinic.
Yeah.
And that's how you can go to that clinic on a regular basis. And it's still an appointment still costs costs money to do, but you don't have to worry about having cover.
Yeah.
You still can get health insurance.
Yeah.
If you prefer to go like a private route
Sure.
for your care, or you don't want to be on a waiting list. So you still can go that route. But if you don't mind or you can't afford it, you can still go the public health route and get coverage for what you need.
So let's say, for example, you have this tree in your backyard, and if you get like a thorn in your arm because you have this specific tree in your yard, right? So and it swells up, and you just are like, hello, I need some urgent care.
Yeah.
And you go in and you get seen and you get cared for it. And is there a bill?
There's a tiny bill. I know which story you're talking about. This happened to my father, who came out to help me, and he got pricked by what's known as a phoenix palm. They have a lot of bacteria and little things on the end of their leaves, and he got it right in the thigh, and he couldn't walk the next day because it was just unbearable. We went to the urgent care. He got seen. He got prescribed some antibiotics, and the whole visit didn't cost more than $50.
Yeah, and so then that includes the being seen and the antibiotics and everything like that. It's just you don't have to have an insurance plan.
Yeah, no, you don't have to have an insurance plan to be seen.
Yeah.
Like whereas like here, if you don't have insurance and you go to the ER, you're looking at a bill of, even if it's for something tiny, hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, my son just had to go to Teddy just had to get stitches in his lip because he had a little split lip on the playground, and we just saw the ER bill for that, and we're insured. Our insurance is we're self-employed. We pay for our own insurance through the MNsure marketplace. It's high deductible, low premium. So, but his insurance bill for the ER was $2,500. Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
So in New Zealand, the public healthcare system means that you don't have insurance as a benefit for employment, right?
It's just a thing everyone gets.
Everyone just gets it.
Yeah.
So here, your health insurance is directly tied to your employment.
That's right. Yeah. That was sort of the way you got it, was if you had work, most likely full-time work, I should say, then you could get health insurance. If you didn't, and you were you were in between jobs and they offered you that awful COBRA coverage or whatever it was, then that was panic mode.
Yes, panic mode. And I mean, still, it's very hard. I mean, we as entrepreneurs and people who are self-employed, the health insurance premiums that we pay every single month are over $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And that is a huge deterrent for people living and working as entrepreneurs, as self-employed people. And so the appeal of public health care is so strong to people like AJ and I because of exactly what you just mentioned.
Yep.
Now, obviously, like you said, there is private insurance available for people who may not want to wait or enroll in a public health clinic. But it certainly sounds like the pros.
It's definitely a pro. Just like one of those things that I just haven't had to worry about a single moment when I've been there, and it's definitely of weight
Yeah.
lifted
Yeah.
after living and working here
For sure.
a while.
For sure. And, frankly, when you think about living here or there, thinking about free health care.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, to end on a delightful note,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry to kind of bring it down a little bit.
So, let's talk about food for a second.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we talked about this, it would be nice to have free public health care. It would also be nice to have these pineapple chunks. What are they called?
So the probably more popularly known as pineapple lumps.
Pineapple lumps.
And that's the popular brand, Pascal's. That's kind of like the more expensive brand. But you can get different versions of it. And the ones that I brought back to share with you guys and the family was the pineapple chunks.
Pineapple chunks.
Just like a thin layer of chocolate, and inside is a pineapple flavored marshmallow.
Yes, and it's chewy.
It's a bit chewy. It's very nice. It's just a little tropical hit.
Yeah, and it's not a ton of chocolate. It's just thin chocolate over this marshmallow pineapple flavored marshmallow. So I like that. And then there's also a candy that I love when I traveled there way back in 2004 that I love, and it's milk bottles.
Milk bottles. I bought you 2 bags.
Yes, 2 bags of milk bottles just for Mom.
Yep, just for Mom.
And they're like a squashy, foamy kind of candy, but they taste very subtly sweet, not too sweet, and they're made with real New Zealand milk.
Real milk. It sounds weird. Like, I didn't quite understand it. I was like, wait, I don't want milk candy.
I know,
What the heck is this?
They're so good.
They're tasty.
So just tasty.
Yeah.
So the candy over there, and you have Whitaker's chocolate.
Whitaker's
which
chocolate,
is
fantastic.
a New Zealand thing, and Milo.
Milo is a Kiwi Australian, New Zealand Australian thing. It's like the best comparison is Ovaltine.
Yes,
but it's good.
Yes,
it's not like regular Ovaltine here, where you kind of drink it because your parents made you. you want to drink Milo.
It's a barley drink.
Yeah.
It's
malted barley.
Malted barley drink, but it's chocolate flavored.
It's chocolatey, yeah.
I loved Milo. Yeah. I drank it my entire trip when I was over there, and I'm excited for my kids to try it.
That's right.
Too.
I brought a bag back for you. Brought a bag back to Tom.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. Okay, Michael. Thank you for joining me on the Rochester Local Podcast. I can't wait for you to listen to your own episode since you're my #1 fan.
I'm not going to. I will let everyone else listen to the episode. Hello there. I do not like listening to myself.
Well, that's fine. I bet you end up well. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us. And I guess my dog Bunny decided to join us in the last little minute here. She just needs to be a part of the show. So thank you so much. For more episodes, go to rochesterlocal.com/podcast. And again, thanks so much for listening.
Bye.